Hello, amazing English learners. Welcome back to our Easy English Tales. If you want to understand real-world English and learn new words about business, fame, and power in a simple, easy way, then this story is perfect for you. Now, imagine a man famous for building giant, shiny skyscrapers. Imagine that same man becoming a huge television star, known in every home for two famous words: "You're fired." And then, imagine that this same businessman and TV star decides to run for the most powerful job in the world: President of the United States. Almost no one believed he could win. The experts, the news, everyone said it was impossible. But he did. How did a man known for real estate change his career so completely? What was his secret to becoming so famous? And how did he achieve a victory that shocked the entire world? Today, we will discover the answers in the incredible life story of Donald Trump. Learning his story will be fascinating, and it is a fantastic way to improve your English. You will practice your listening skills for over 20 minutes, and we will learn important new words together. I will explain them right inside the story to make it easy. By the end, you will understand the amazing journey of a man who took one of the most unusual paths to the presidency. Let's begin. Our story starts in New York City in the year 1946. A baby boy was born. His name was Donald John Trump. He grew up in a part of New York called Queens. His family was not poor. In fact, they had a very successful family business. His father, Fred Trump, was a real estate developer. That means he built and sold buildings. Fred Trump was very good at his job. He built many apartment buildings in New York, and he taught his son Donald about the business from a very young age. Young Donald was very energetic and full of confidence. His father saw that he was very ambitious. The word ambitious describes a person who has a strong desire to be successful, rich, or powerful. Donald Trump was very ambitious. He wanted to be even more successful than his father. As a teenager, his parents sent him to a military academy. This is a type of school that is very strict and teaches discipline. After that, he went to a famous business school, the Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania. He studied economics and real estate. He was preparing for a big career, but he did not just want to build apartments in Queens like his father. He had a much bigger dream. He looked across the river to the island of Manhattan, with its famous tall skyscrapers, and he knew that was where he wanted to make his name. This leads us to the first major part of his life. How did he go from being his father's son to becoming the king of New York real estate? When Donald Trump finished school, he joined his father's company. But he soon took control and changed its direction. He started focusing on Manhattan. Manhattan was, and still is, one of the most famous and expensive places in the world. Trump wanted to build big, beautiful, and impressive buildings there. His first big project was changing an old hotel into a new, beautiful one called the Grand Hyatt. It was a huge success and made him famous in the city. But his most famous building from this time is Trump Tower. He built it in the 1980s on Fifth Avenue, one of the most famous streets in New York. Trump Tower was a symbol of his style. It was very tall, with a shiny glass exterior and a beautiful, expensive-looking inside with lots of gold colors and a big waterfall. It was a place of luxury. The word luxury means great comfort and elegance, especially when it involves expensive things. Trump's name became connected with luxury. He learned something very important. His name itself was valuable. He started putting his name on everything. There was Trump Tower, Trump Plaza, Trump Hotels, Trump Casinos in Atlantic City. His name became his brand. This was a very clever business strategy. People knew that if a building had the name Trump on it, it was probably going to be big, bold, and luxurious. Of course, business is never easy. Sometimes his businesses had problems. A few of his companies had to declare bankruptcy. Bankruptcy is a word for when a person or a company cannot pay back all the money they owe. Even though some of his projects faced these big financial problems, Trump was always able to bounce back. He was very good at making deals and finding new ways to succeed. For many years, Donald Trump was known as a rich and powerful real estate developer in New York. But he wanted more. He wanted everyone in America and around the world to know his name. So how did he do that? He found a new stage, not in New York City, but on television. In 2004, Donald Trump started hosting a new reality TV show called The Apprentice. The idea of the show was simple. A group of smart and ambitious people would compete against each other in different business tasks. Each week, Trump would watch them, judge their performance, and at the end of every show, he would fire one person. The show was a massive hit. It was one of the most popular shows on television. People loved watching the competition, but mostly they loved watching Donald Trump. He had a very strong and direct personality. A person's personality is their special mix of how they think, feel, and behave. Trump's personality on the show was that of a super successful, no-nonsense boss. He became famous for one line in particular. At the end of each episode, he would look at the losing contestant and say, with great authority, "You're fired." That phrase became famous all over the world. People said it as a joke. It was on T-shirts, it was everywhere. The Apprentice made Donald Trump more than just a rich businessman. It made him a household name. He was now a famous celebrity. Everyone knew who he was. For 14 seasons, he was on television, building his brand as the ultimate decider, the ultimate boss. This fame gave him a new kind of power. It gave him a connection to millions of regular people who watched him on TV every week. But even with all this fame, Donald Trump had another, even bigger, ambition. An ambition that almost nobody in the world believed was possible. What could be bigger than being a real estate mogul and a TV star? The answer would change American history. On a summer day in 2015, Donald Trump rode down an escalator in Trump Tower and made a stunning announcement. He told the world that he was running for President of the United States. At first, many people were very surprised. Some people even laughed. They did not take him seriously. To take someone seriously means to believe that they are important and deserve attention. Many politicians and news reporters saw him as a TV star, not a future president. They thought his campaign was just for publicity. They were wrong. Donald Trump's campaign was completely different from a normal political campaign. He did not talk like a typical politician. He spoke in a very direct, simple, and often blunt way. He held huge rallies, which are big meetings with thousands of his supporters. These rallies were full of energy and excitement. He also used social media, especially Twitter, in a way no candidate had ever done before. He could speak directly to millions of people every single day without needing the news media. His main message was simple and powerful. His slogan was "Make America Great Again." He told people that the country had problems, that other countries were taking advantage of America, and that politicians in Washington, D.C. were not helping regular people. He promised that he, as a successful businessman from outside of politics, could fix these problems. This message was very popular with millions of Americans who felt left behind by the economy and ignored by the government. They saw him as a strong leader who was not afraid to say what he thought. He was running against many other experienced politicians. In the end, his main opponent was Hillary Clinton, a former First Lady, Senator, and Secretary of State. The experts, the newspapers, the polls that try to predict who will win, almost everyone said he could not win. They said Hillary Clinton would be the next president. The world watched on election night in November 2016, expecting that result. But then, something happened that shocked everyone. As the results came in, state by state, it became clear that the experts were wrong. Donald Trump was winning in key states that he was expected to lose. The world watched in disbelief. By the end of the night, Donald J. Trump had won the election. He was going to be the 45th president of the United States. It was one of the biggest political upsets in American history. In January 2017, he was sworn into office. His presidency was just as unconventional as his campaign. He continued to use Twitter to announce policies and share his opinions. His 4 years as president were full of action and were often very controversial. The word controversial means causing a lot of public argument and disagreement. Many people strongly supported his actions, while many others strongly disagreed with them. During his presidency, he focused on several key areas. He worked to change the economy by lowering taxes on businesses. He wanted to change international trade deals to be more favorable to America. He worked to put many new judges in the courts, which is a very important power for a president. He also focused on immigration, famously promising to build a wall on the southern border of the United States. His supporters loved his America First approach. They believed he was keeping his promises and fighting for them. His opponents were very critical. They worried about his policies and his style of leadership. It was a time of deep political division in the country. After 4 years, his time as president came to an end after the 2020 election. But his story in politics was not over. So what happened next, and what is his final place in history? After leaving the White House in 2021, Donald Trump did not disappear from public life. He remained a very powerful and influential figure in his political party, the Republican Party. He continued to hold rallies and speak to his supporters, showing that his connection with them was still very strong. So, what is the legacy of Donald Trump? A legacy is the long-lasting impact that a person's life and actions have on history. His legacy is complex and is seen very differently by different people. For his supporters, he is a revolutionary figure. He is a successful businessman who came from outside politics to challenge the system and fight for the common person. They see him as a strong leader who put America first. For his critics, he is a controversial leader whose actions and words divided the country and challenged democratic traditions. But one thing is clear to everyone. His career path is one of the most extraordinary in modern history. He completely changed his career 3 times. First, he was a real estate developer who changed the skyline of New York. Second, he used television to become a global celebrity and a powerful brand. And third, he used that fame to reach the highest political office in the world, changing politics forever. His story shows the power of branding, the importance of media, and how a direct connection with millions of people can change the course of history. He proved that the path to power does not always follow the old rules. From building skyscrapers to hosting a TV show to leading a country, the life of Donald Trump is a story of ambition, fame, and a career change unlike any other. What an incredible and unique journey. A story about how a person can completely reinvent themselves time and time again. What part of Donald Trump's journey from businessman to president surprised you the most? Was it his success in real estate, his fame from The Apprentice, or his shocking election victory? Please share your thoughts with us in the comments below. We hope you enjoyed this detailed story and that it helped you with your English learning. If it did, please show your support by giving this video a big thumbs up. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe to Easy English Tales and click the bell so you won't miss our next story. Thank you for watching. Keep practicing, and we will see you next time.